It's officially summer, baby. Listen up, boys. We got crushed yesterday, but we're coming back. We're coming back today with the Wednesday replay because we didn't replay Wednesday. We didn't look at Wednesday yet, but we do kind of know what happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. We know it goes up, but let's do it anyways, bro. It's Saturday. I should be playing Call of Duty. Why are you on QQQ? You know, Verdansk is back. I don't know if you guys knew that Verdansk is back. And if you didn't know what happened on Wednesday, now you do. Looks like it's going to be a tricky one. Oh, will I? Yeah, we got crushed yesterday. I think yesterday it was, price was really just like, so if we had looked at the RTH instead of the 1801 session volume profile, we might have been a little better off, but not by much. And the thing is, like, I knew it was going to be a bullish day. And I don't think I made a single short, and I still got crushed. So, okay. What are we looking at here? Nine o'clock on Wednesday. Good place to start. We haven't broken these highs yet, but test that shit out. I'm saying. I would say this is like the best zone that I'm looking at. It's not beautiful, but this 1 hour. Yeah. Got the Cape Cod jersey on. Let's just get into it, man. Okay. But I'm like, man, I just feel like I'm not using these right. If I had another trading view window, or maybe it would make sense to do it with NinjaTrader, but the replay wouldn't sync up for today. It'd be good to just have that reg channel like from a previous move, like whatever the daily uptrend is, and then we'll just leave it there. But I'm just doing the 1801 and the 930, and I don't know how to feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that was 930. You bounced out of that. Obviously, you can't get in there, but you bounced right out of that demand zone, crazy style. And that was, you know, just like kind of a regular ass node. I guess a little bit of a gap. That's the thing about this profile. It's like, how do you know it's going to bounce out that one and not this kind of gap down here, you know? So, yeah, yesterday made me a little cautious, a little shook up. A lot of sideways bullshit this morning. And I'm wondering if like it's going to come down here to this kind of zone, but like the price action following this demand zone really sucks, obviously. You get a little push up. I should have drawn this in, but you don't get a good reaction. Okay, so we're finally seeing things get a little bullish after all that nonsense. kind of like a decent. This is like a little node here. It's just low volume. What does that look like? So that kind of lines up with this a little bit. The top of that is important because that's where the lack of volume is. Bouncing down, but this uptrend, I wouldn't really short there. That might get you at least down to that low, but it did in fact do that. This is again not a great zone, but kind of happening at the edge of volume. I just want to draw this wick out and see if it reacts to this. You aren't getting a reaction. Oh, okay. So if you longed on that, you're cooked completely. But yeah, maybe that was news. I ain't gonna worry about it. It's funny because it did bop into this one here, but nobody likes all that wick on top of that candle. And whatever, just trading a crazy volume candle like that is not a good idea because something's going on. But maybe it'll work out. They're really struggling to push higher. Even this candle just wicked above that. Couldn't close up there. Sound doesn't look good from bulls right now. And I think I know what's happening on the higher time frame. So like I'm remembering the shape of what the daily candle looked like. So I think we're just gonna, I don't know if we're gonna make it back up there. But this looks really good, right? What I don't like is all this shit. And the volume is like kind of a gap. There's a gap down here. But really, do we want to get in there? Maybe if it breaks above this candle, we can take a little... I think on a day like this, you would take a... Like, I'm just not confident in this... price action. It's just going down and down and down. This, like I want to put in a trade, but this just feels like one of those ones that I have a gut feeling about. So let's see if it'll come just up to. Sorry. I think a lot of people thought that was a good bullish trade, and it wasn't. So should have stuck with my gut on that one. Yeah, I mean, just look at the price action, dude. Like, this is really all you need to know. If you're like, should I go long? What about all this shit, man? The volume was not, yeah. That's really interesting, though. It must have been a news heavy day or something. It was like, what the fuck? And we should also just be drawing, just like, if I'm like drawing out both supply and demand, sometimes I'll get like tunnel vision on a long, and that's why I try to catch falling knives and get cut up. And I'm like not even drawing out supply zones. I feel like if you just draw out the supply zones as they happen, you're like, oh yeah, there is still bearish action going on here that Also, if price action is playing out and you're just drawing more supply zones than demand zones, you're probably at least in a short-term downtrend. So yeah, I have to like work on my bias, I guess. Because this was like, I just want to get into a trade. Like it looks so good, the little tweezer bottom, and you're like, yeah, you gotta go with your gut on that, baby girl. Just waiting. It's not even like coming back up to anything that any. It's just like a runaway. I think there genuinely might be like 0 trades today. Right? Right? What deep? It kind of is like hitting the edge of this volume. We're bouncing back into the value area, so I'm like, this could be a bullish. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna draw this, and I'm gonna wait. Maybe it'll come back down to here, but maybe it won't. It does. Little gap there. Gappy poo. Yeah, you could. Man. No, stop. Okay, so I was getting ready to draw in along there, but I still think that could be a decent long. Oof. There's just no volume down here. You get a big rejection at the bottom. You could be making a higher low right here, but this guy didn't. So this would have been a good short trade, obviously. I just don't like the candle. I don't know. Let's just put in a long here. Targeting what? There's a node up here. Just do a 1-to-1, I think. I think there's just no highs are being broken except for this one. So this is very risky. Yeah. It's like you knew not to take down. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, man. You have the 1 hour demand zone down here. I think if you are going to try to go long, like maybe just wait till it friggin' hits the damn, you know what I'm saying? Till it hits the demand zone that you drew out. Can't even get back up to that supply zone. Okay. Okay, very bullish into that. Breaks through those. Okay. Shit. Okay, so yeah, that would have at least been good for something. And we are starting to make a reversal, but I think you could still get something out of that. There's kind of a volume gap here that it bounced down from. And then, I mean, the obvious target is value area low, but he could, I mean, with it being now kind of a reversal, like you maybe just take a 1-to-1. Dang. It went too fast for my ass. Now you kind of have to ask yourself too, like, am I catching the falling knife on the other side? Is my bias just like lagging? But price is really grinding up here instead of these big moves. See if we can get through a load. Still looking nice and bullish here. Come into this sort of zone, but not the best zone. And then you get a big old can. It does a pretty hard rejection. But this high couldn't break this high. So I'm a little bit, know about that one. There you go. Still can't close up there though. There it is. Oh. Really battling here. So that wouldn't have worked for a 1-to-1. It would have worked if you took the high. But yeah. Just barely too. Barely. I haven't even dragged the, that's kind of like this little range. You can see this, not the best bell curve, but certainly a range. Breaking out. Getting to be the end of the day there. Stalling a little bit. Okay. I'm wary that it would come down to this demand zone. And this also doesn't look great. But I mean, this is where it bounced after all that move. Fuck it, dude. Maybe just stay here. That works. All right, we got one W today. So yeah, just like a higher low from here. We know this is a very important spot because it stopped this entire down move. This isn't good action for the bulls, so maybe don't target these highs. It does go up there the next day, if not today. But just based on what you would know, like as this is playing out live, like that's exactly where it stops to before getting you out. So that's always sketchy. It just goes like a tick past your target and then it comes down. But I'll take it. Why? And then of course coming out of the higher time frame demand zone, and it's 4 o'clock. Okay. So that was an awkward day again, but yeah, I think that was just like another falling knife kind of day. Let's just go see what that looked like. Oh, it kept going lower too. So it actually went down more. Yeah, we really got to work on that. It was like last week, bro. So it came down here. I don't really know what it's bouncing off. There's just a big gap there, but it didn't fill it. Yeah. Kind of just the bottom of like, it wicks below the bottom of yesterday's price action, Tuesday's price action, and then takes off from there in Thursday to RTH. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Let me go back and look at that again. What? Oh my God. So here was a long, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you're just breaking through these lows, breaking low. If you are going to go long, wait till down here. I mean, not this, but actually when we're in there. And that's what worked here just for a second. Well, no, it worked off of this. It didn't work off of the higher time frame demand zone. But the higher time frame demand zone did give you a better bounce up to the VWAP than this one that we took gave you. So, yeah, that's a big fat L of a day. 55, yeah, like minus 70 something points, 80 points. But, and then this one, just like the lows are really, the highs keep going lower pretty strong. And it doesn't mean that like a bounce is going to get back up to that trend line, but it's a pretty steep trend line downwards. Yeah. So I think I should, definitely should have followed my gut a couple times here. That was a nice one. Was a decent one. Just a little scalpy poop. That's why we're scalp. I feel like some of the longer plays haven't been working. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, obviously Thursday just could have. I don't think we went over Thursday, but this video is already 25 minutes. So we'll do that shit maybe tomorrow.